Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. I'm with Kissa Kimble today of Elite Recruiting, and we're so excited that you've joined us. Hi, Kissa. How are you?
Hi, Annalise. I'm well, thank you.
Good. Well, Kissa is the founder of Elite Recruiting, which is a company that hires Class A CDL drivers. And so today we're going to learn more about her and her company. Okay, Kissa, you ready?
Yes.
All right, so let's jump into it. Okay, so tell me about your company and when you started.
Okay, so I officially started Elite Recruiting back in 2017. And I absolutely love recruiting. What I do is I help Class A CDL drivers find new Class A CDL jobs. And so the product is the service, I'm sorry, is actually free of charge to the truck drivers. All they do is apply. I can help students, trainees, refreshers, experienced drivers, pretty much anyone in the trucking industry. I'm able to assist with transitioning into their career.
So I don't know much about truck driving, but what is a Class CDL driver? I mean, like, what does that mean?
So there's several types of licenses. Typically, our normal license is going to be like a Class C, and so Class A CDL holders actually are the semi tractor trailers you see on the road. So those are those really long trucks that help take merchandise to and from our stores, intermodal. So they actually connect with our train stations and they pick up merchandise from there as well.
Oh, pretty interesting. Like I said, I don't know much about truck driving, so this is all new, and I'm super excited to learn more. Okay, so you started in 2017. What led to this company? I mean, what were you doing before?
Well, at the time, I only had two children, so I was just a mom of two. And I was working about 14 hours doing customer service calling center jobs. I was actually a full time student as well, enrolled in the University of Phoenix. So one day I actually went and met my mom. We were having lunch, and this sweet lady, April Smith, she sat down with me and she said, "You would be so great for recruiting." And she told me the details on it, that I would be working from home, that I would be able to spend time with my children, my family. And so I was like, yeah, I'm all in. Just she trained me, and my first month, I was able to hire three drivers immediately.
Oh,
So I
wow.
stopped going to school and just full fledged started recruiting. And so since then, I've just been just working from home, hiring drivers.
That's awesome. It's awesome, and not very many people do it, so that makes it even more cool, and I guess makes you more unique. So,
Yeah.
what is a day-to-day routine like for you?
So I talk to drivers all day long. Drivers are always applying. So my day-to-day routine is I typically wake up about 5:30 in the morning to assist with my kids, kind of check my emails, check my text messages, kind of just jump in there head first. I usually try to meditate, say some prayers, drink some water, just, organize my entire day. And then from there, once I get the kids off to school, about 7:30, I'm usually available. I start calling East Coast.
Okay.
Elite Recruiting hires drivers in all 48 states, just no Alaska and Hawaii. So I usually start calling, Florida, Georgia, just start calling towards that way because they've been up before me. And I usually just recruit all day long until I just can't take anymore, or if I have a meeting or something comes about, I do able to set it to the side. But being independent and being an independent contracted recruiter, I'm on call for the drivers. So as they apply all day, I'm there available to assist them.
Very nice. So, you started here in Arkansas. Did you just kind of spread regionally, or like, what was the process like growing state to state?
So when I got trained in recruiting, I was already training to recruit outside of just Arkansas. Here within the last year is when I actually decided to start focusing more on Arkansans. There's not a lot of Arkansas truck drivers that come to the job boards, and I really wanted to make sure that here locally, a lot of people knew about Class A CDL truck driving. It's a
Mhm.
lucrative business, and I mean, we need truck drivers, and so I just really decided to turn my attention inwardly more towards the home state.
I'm actually sort of surprised we don't have a lot of truck drivers here in Arkansas, especially with us being a state. A lot of drivers drive through to go,
Mhm.
transport things. Um, hmm. Why do you think that is?
Well, one reason I would say is Arkansas doesn't have a lot of local jobs. Most of the driving jobs that come out of Arkansas are like regional or over the road. And from just my research of recruiting drivers, most drivers have in their mind that they want to be local or more dedicated. And
Mhm.
so here recently, we've had more local or dedicated lanes that have opened up. But just from my past experience, I would say it would be that the amount of lanes that we have available and different options for Arkansas drivers.
Mhm. So I have to ask, um, with you being a female founder and you work with, well, in a pretty male uh, dominated industry, what is that like?
It's really exciting because I noticed that the communication works very well with the male and female perspective. And I love telling men what to do. So I find it
Me
very empowering that they're willing to listen because I'm talking to them about something that they need help on. So it makes the conversation very easy flowing. Um, Sorry, it makes it very easy flowing for us to communicate, and I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah. So since 2017 versus now, what has changed? What stayed the same? What was it like then? And what's it like now?
Yeah. Well, since 2017, a few things have changed. I used to only have two children. Now I have five. So I'm definitely a very busy mom. But from the trucking industry perspective, I know more about my industry. When I first started recruiting, it was like putting everything together. I had to figure out where to get my leads, where to place these drivers. Now I understand the trucking industry, so I know exactly where to place them. And the biggest goal that I have in mind now is raising capital so that I can access more Class A CDL drivers.
And I know, like, right now we're living in some challenging times. And so there's obviously a very shortage right now of truck drivers. How has that affected you?
Yes, so COVID, it hit very hard. I was on a roll, focusing on drivers. And then as my focus got more into the drivers, DOT regulations stepped in. And for example, the drivers could not travel out of state. So orientations and things like that really took a toll on me being in a competitive industry because some drivers were just taking jobs that they could get to immediately.
Right.
Um, so it's been a lot, just dealing with COVID and the different changes from the DOT regulations. The age has now dropped though. At one point in time, they had to be 25. So they've opened it up that now 21-year-olds can enter the industry and hopefully 18-year-olds can enter more. So that's where we're hoping to help secure that, that driver shortage by allowing younger Class A CDL drivers to come involved.
So with them lowering the age, do you think that the restrictions are maybe a little more lax as far as hiring? What does that look like now?
Yeah, so as an independent recruiter, my job, I pre-qualify them, I check their backgrounds, their employment histories, and there are a lot of things that have changed. For example, STAT programs are now able to be accepted. And this is going to be a program if someone has a pre employment drug screening or a failed drug test. In the past, it would keep a driver out for about 10 years. But now, with us needing drivers, those lower ages, I'm seeing across the board a lot of carriers are being a little bit more flexible and forgiving when it comes to those that background.
Yeah. So I want to walk through maybe like the application process step by step through Elite Recruiting. Um, what does that look like, and where do I start?
Okay, so if Annalise wanted to apply today, you
Yes.
could go to elitecdldrivers.com.
Mhm.
It will take you to my website. On there, there's a small, just a survey. It just will ask your name, what kind of lane you're looking for, and your city and state.
Mhm.
From there, you would get a call directly from me where I would get to know you, figure out, where you're located, how much experience you have, and then just do a soft pre-screening on checking any criminal traffic history and then as well as your employment history.
Mhm.
Once I get that information, we would kind of just discuss some options in your area based on what you provided me and what the carriers have given me as far as what's available in that area. We
Mhm.
would complete an application together. I would submit you to the carrier that I felt was best fit for the career change or if you're a student for your schooling. It takes me about 4 to 6 hours to get an answer from my processor. So typically in about 24 to 48 hours, I could either have you approved or we're going to know if we should look at a different company. And then from there, as long as you accept the job and the carrier is good with you as a driver, orientation starts every week. So I'm able to get my drivers to orientation. I would pay, the company would pay for your travel, all of your meal stay, your lodging in a hotel. And most companies offer sign on bonuses as well as paid orientation.
Mhm.
And all benefits are included: health, dental, 401k. All of that comes with the package when a driver signs on. There's not a contract, they're just agreeing to drive with that carrier.
That's awesome. I love how hands-on you are with an applicant. That I think especially, that now that younger ones are signing up and maybe don't have the experience, that's awesome and remarkable for sure. Um,
Thank you.
yeah. So Kisa is a part of our Spark cohort this fall, and she's one of 8. And we've talked with a few these past few weeks. You mentioned, Kisa, that you are wanting to learn more about raising capital. Um, Talk to us about maybe your goals, or what you hope to walk away with from Spark.
So far, Spark has already just provided me so many new connections and just ideas when it comes to understanding the business perspective. So I definitely want to be able to take away uh, advancing my sales presentation from whether it be presenting myself or presenting my business and explaining it. I also want to be able to, again, take away those connections and just the opportunity to learn to do more marketing and be known in the trucking industry as well as in the human resource field. So other people know that I'm out there, I'm available to assist and help, Class A CDL drivers, but I also just specialize in people. So I'm able to assist with helping individuals transition and come up with different things in their life.
Mhm. So remarkable again, Kisa. I really, really like what you're doing, and I like that you're just kind of in that male-dominated industry, making a
Yeah,
difference. Talk to us about um, um, maybe what is next for after you go through Spark. What's next for elite recruiting?
definitely hiring more Class A CDL drivers. Ultimately, that is my goal. That's my job. I'm here to help more Class A CDL drivers have those options in front of them when they're transitioning.
Mhm.
Again, my business is specializing in helping those drivers try to locate all the options that I have access to and putting it in front of them so that when they transition, they're happy, their families are happy, and the company is happy.
Yeah.
So that's my ultimate goal is to definitely hire more Class A CDL drivers and for more drivers to know that I'm available to assist them.
Yeah. Do you think that you'll also maybe expand your team? Have you ever thought about that?
I have. I actually have one recruiter that I'm training. So I've always thought about having more recruiters on board. It's just about having time to make sure that I could dedicate the time to the trainee
Mhm.
because I would definitely want to make sure I'm fully hands on and also making sure I'm still available for my drivers because they need me. So yeah, once I figure all that out,
And
I'm
being
heading. Yeah, then yeah, you can't forget about that. So yeah, I've thought about it, and any opportunity that comes about that I'm able to help others, I'm ready for it. I love helping people, and that's just the lifestyle that I'm in.
Mhm. You mentioned when we first started chatting about April, who had kind of put this in front of you, and now you're training a recruiter. What is a training like for this kind of job?
So it can take anywhere from 3 days to 3 weeks.
Mhm.
It all depends on the type of recruiter. I trained in about 3 days, but again, this was way back when. So now, with the different tools and resources and the amount of information, it's taken me about 3 weeks to kind of get this recruiter where we need to be. But the process is, it's virtual. They have access, they have a login, they have all types of print offs and different different tools that will help them to be a successful recruiter.
Yeah.
That's the thing about training is I do want to make sure that all of my recruiters leave being a successful work from home recruiter. So they don't have to invest any money. Again, no money is ever invested as long as they have tools, their computer, their phone. But it's all about time. And like I know, time is money. And so ultimately, it just comes down to how much time they can put in and how serious they are about grasping all the information because you're learning about probably 53 companies, hundreds of lanes, and all these states. And then so it's a lot of different variables, but
Mhm.
it can be done. I'm really good at what I do, so I know how to train. It's all about them receiving the information and just downloading it and understanding.
Yeah. Now, with you being at home, what has that been like? Because you're not, in an office space. You've got, kids, and I think you may have a dog, and you've got your home life. What's it like being an entrepreneur and having this business and being at home?
Well, I call my kids recruiter babies because it's like they're trained now that when they hear the phone or an email, they've kind of conformed to the lifestyle. But when we first started recruiting, it was wild. I didn't know, like, I'm like, oh my goodness, I need to go here. So now they're all like, they all go to school. So I have set hours where I'm at home and there is absolutely no interruption. But again, recruiting doesn't stop at 5. So, um, it's just one of those things where, like, as a small business owner and entrepreneur, everyone has just kind of jumped on board. I have support from my mom, my sister, my aunts, a lot of my family. So they know, like, if I'm having to work, because I work on weekends, I'm not ever off. Like, I'm always available. I'm either helping a driver through orientation, helping them get their bus ticket. So my family's kind of just adjusted to knowing, like, we're a recruiter family. So we're all hiring the driver.
They always say it takes a village, and in your case, it's very, very true.
Yes.
So, what advice do you have for entrepreneurs out there, just in general?
I would say some advice as an entrepreneur is to look for opportunity and then not like your typical opportunity. Like, just look for all types of opportunities to learn. For example, like the Spark program, I didn't know what I was going to get out of it, but I feel like I've gotten more than I could even expect. So, again, just looking for those opportunities where I can learn more about becoming a small business owner. I think that you can't go wrong there. That's any small business. Just education. Education will take you to the next level ultimately because there's always so much to learn when growing a business.
Yeah. Is there any other information you want to share with our audience as far as elite recruiting?
Um, yes, again, just please check me out on social media. My website, elitecdldrivers.com. And you can share that. I've got a really good team that stepped it up on my website. It's super friendly. You can easily access it, and it makes it very easy for anybody in the industry looking. So, yeah, I just want people to check me out. I'm also on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook. So connect with me in any way. That'd be great.
Well, Kisa, it's been so much fun chatting with you and learning more about your business today. And we are super excited that you are a part of our Spark cohort this fall. Thank you all for tuning in. I'm Annalise, and until next time, have a great day.